Thank you. All right, at this point, I'd like to open up the Baldwin Park City Council regular meeting. Today's August the 5th, 2015. The time is 7:05. So we'll ask Pastor Jackson if he could lead us in an invocation, followed by the flag salute. So I will ask all those that are able to stand to please do so at this time. Thank you very much.
Father, we come in the name of the Lord, seeking your face. You said to acknowledge you in all of our ways, and you would direct our path. Baldwin Park needs your divine direction. And we're asking you, Lord, putting your hand upon the city council, the mayor, put your hand upon the police department, our chief, and all those that are work in the streets and in the department to make this community safe, keep them safe, as well as they are keeping us safe. Touch our school district, Lord, and those that are teaching our children, and also, Father, those that are keeping them safe from gangs, keeping them safe from drugs, that they may grow and that they may go on to college and be a productive citizen here in Baldwin Park or wherever you send them. We need your divine guidance, and we need your help, and we call in on it. Say, help us, Lord. In the name of the Lord we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. At this point, I'm going to ask everyone to please face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I want to say good evening to everyone for being here today. At this point, I will ask our city clerk, Alejandra Avila, to commence with the roll call.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Councilmember Monica Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. Present. Mayor Pro Tem Cruz Baca.
Here.
Mayor Manuel Lozano.
Present. I will move also to excuse Councilmember Susan Rubio. That is my motion.
Second.
Second. Any objections? Seeing none, so moved. Thank you very much. All right. At this point, we have, before I forget, anyone wishing to close on anyone?
Yes, I would like to close in memory of Socorro Carvajal, mother of our city treasurer, Marie Contreras, who passed away a couple weeks ago.
That's right. All right.
And
Thank
she
you.
also asked to be excused, by the way.
Yes. Thank you very much. All right. At this point, we'll go over to the presentations. The first one that we have is the presentation of project status on the Interstate 10605 interchange project. And Woods PR. So at this point, you want to come up here and do your presentation? You're welcome to.
Mayor, I'm sorry, there was one other thing.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
yes.
I'm sorry, pardon me. You notice that there's public works shirts for
Yes.
each one of the council members and the mayor.
Thank you.
That's on behalf of Dan Wall and the guys at the yard. They wanted all of us to have something to wear once in a while.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank them very much. Thank you as well. Appreciate that. All right, so at this point, we're getting back. Sorry about that. Dave, you guys could have stood up. All right, here we go.
First of all, thank you for allowing us.
You can introduce yourself for the record. Appreciate that.
I will. My name is Marilyn Hayes.
Thank you,
I'm
Marilyn.
with Hazenwood Marketing. I'm here with Dave Clarisi from MCM Construction. And with Caltrans District 7, this is a public information program that we're presenting tonight to show you where we are in the construction project.
Yeah, you could speak into the mic. Appreciate it, because Brady.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
Is it on? It's on. Mark? Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. I know, it's not in the right place. Here we go. Okay, well, yeah, the big news is the bridge will open in the fall 2015. As Dave just told the mayor, October, November, it's coming. I will reiterate some of the project information that, that's important, and that is that it is a direct flyover connector from the southbound 605 to the eastbound I-10. It's a 30-foot wide single-lane connector with a 5-foot and 10-foot wide shoulder on either side. And it includes the construction of a almost 4-foot high barrier in the south side facing Dalewood Street. This is a $66 million design build project. with this anticipation date in the fall. The project benefits, and I'll just go through them pretty quickly, they are to improve traffic flow and reduce commuter delays due to merging traffic, thereby eliminating weaving and enhancing overall operation of the interchange. In short, the bridge will take a significant number of motorists off the current ground connector roads below and elevate their transition from the 605 to the 10 on the flyover bridge. When the flyover descends down at the south end of the I-10 at this entry point, there's going to be a smooth transition to the freeway, and in place there will be the introduction of ramp meters, which basically are important tools to improve traffic flow in the entire corridor and shorten the traffic peak times. These meters allow for connector traffic to merge more smoothly, and on the eastbound I-10 during the travel hours they will be on. We are entering into the final phase of this project, and we basically shot some pictures recently to give you an idea of what's happening on the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
What you're seeing here is the final removal of false work on the bridge, so you can see the finished work and what it looks like. On the right is a view from the top, paving the actual road and the barriers on the structure. So I can see what it is. Here's two other views, basically looking at finished rim features. You'll see on the right, if I'll show another picture, as there's a cobblestone finish on the rim of the bridge. Here we have ramp and roadway work along Dalewood Street, which is continuing. Basically, you see where the bridge descends, and it's parallel to the I-10. And the right-hand side, basically, you're looking at pavement layering on the roadway. In the last I'm going to pass this up for a minute on landscaping, because in our last presentation to the council, there were a number of questions on what the ramps and walls will look like, what would be the finished project in the neighborhood. And this is giving you some examples of what probably will be chosen for the finished look. But more importantly, the overall improvement to the area, that Dalewood corridor, if you will, Dalewood Street corridor, is that they will get new sound walls. There will be new curbs and sidewalks, paved. There will be a movement of utility lines underground and some additional lighting in the area. So that will be pretty much what will be finished when the project, or what it'll look like when the project is over. Going back up to landscaping in general, these are pictures on the west side of the interchange to give you an idea that look will probably be continued with an eye toward drought-resistant foliage to finish the project. We have, for the last 2 years, basically reached out to the community in 4 different ways. One with weekly lane closure alerts to the press, social media, use of Facebook and Twitter, flyer distributions to the neighborhoods when there is a change in sound or vibration for a period of hours, and local municipality presentations such as this. In the coming weeks, we are going to be, these are just some samples of what we've passed out in the past. This is the Facebook page. We're up to now 3,000 visitors. What we do is basically post these pictures that we're showing you, answer questions anybody has in a comment or post, and provide weekly lane closure information.
Yeah, okay.
In the coming weeks, there will be obviously a great effort to complete this project, and there will be, at an unidentified time at this point, a ribbon cutting ceremony in either in October or November. But I think at this time, I'm sure you might have some questions, but I know that Dave and I would like to thank the council for its support on this project, and it has helped us a great deal. Questions?
Oh, yes, Marilyn, and thank you, David. Let me ask a question. I know that part of the program is some of the homes are going to be purchased off. Is that all of the 4 homes there? I know 3 have already been pretty much blocked off, the ones that are on the south end of the actual 10 freeway.
Yes, Caltrans, in their right-of-way program, purchased, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 residences.
Yes, one of them.
4, one was a duplex. 4 were demolished, and 2 of them they still have in their inventory, and they plan to resell at one point.
Okay.
And so the 2 of the homes that are there in Dalewood Street, adjacent to Via Van Cleve.
Yes, those homes.
Yes, those 2 homes are owned by Caltrans. We've, as the contractor, just hired a local iron fabrication company. They did door and window covers. Try to keep, we did struggle at the start trying to keep the people from living in them, even though they were empty and all the utilities were disconnected. But that, they're closed up at this time, and Caltrans does plan as properties in their inventory to deal with these. And of course, it's beyond the scope of the contractor, but they will be handled by the Caltrans realty people. I think they plan to sell those 2 properties.
Oh, for some reason, okay, so they're not going to be demolished? I thought they were.
No, they will not be. The 2 houses that they've saved, they would like to resell those.
Okay, all righty.
And there's 2 residents adjacent
Right,
to
2 of them
the
there
to the
still.
2 that the Caltrans purchased.
Oh, okay.
And the residents, they were all, in my understanding, were all offered the same terms, et cetera. 2 chose to stay and 2 chose to leave.
Oh, now another question I have, because boy, it's a bottleneck as you go past Baldwin Park Boulevard exit. How long is that gonna? I mean, heading into West Covina. I know. I'm
You
just
mean
kinda
going
curious.
going east?
Yes, going. Sorry about that. Going east. How long before that's actually finished?
Because of the other contract, the HOV Phase 2 project?
Yes, that particular area.
I think that project has another year plus to go.
Okay.
Again, we're the contractor, the bridge
Right,
contractor
for the
on the
bridge,
bridge.
yes.
That's another contractor, but that I think will probably go another year. And for your knowledge, later this month, the Caltrans advertises Phase 3, which will go on the end of that project eastbound. It'll go all the way to the 57.
Wow.
So it'll be another HOV project, the third in the corridor from the 605, one you've experienced prior to our work.
Right. Okay.
The next one is the one you see now, that's West Covina area.
Yes.
And then the next one will go on the east end of that, tie into that, and go all the way to the 57, which has an HOV lane. So now you'll come out of the city of Los Angeles and have the express lanes, HOV from the 605, continuing, tying into the HOV lanes at the 57 and on west through San Bernardino County.
All righty. Okay, council members have any other questions?
Yes, I do. When this is all said and done, how long will it take for the cleanup? Because I know that we've heard from several residents that they don't want the same thing to happen that happened over at the other Caltrans yard by Kaiser, where it's still a mess. How long do you think that it will take for you to clean and landscape everything to make it look nice?
Our work, the way our contract will be, we're going to open the bridge, which is the one traffic switch we have on our job. And that'll happen end of September, October, which fortunately I've come here 4 or 5 times. You've seen my face, and I've said the same thing every time, so I'm happy to come back here and say, I'm still saying the same dates, and it's still the same one there. But anyway, by the end of the year, all that'll be cleaned up.
Okay, thank
So
you.
by the end of, right now, our working days without weather days and, the holidays, which we don't work, we should finish right around New Year's. And like where our construction yards turns out, we move away, and that becomes a infiltration basin, a drainage feature. So the water on Dalewood before it was a problem prior to our job that there was puddling and some flooding right by the Kaiser Hospital parking lot, et cetera.
Yes.
So back up before that area becomes a drainage basin, so the water coming eastbound, because it's all surface drainage in the area, which I'm sure Mr. Wall knows, but anyway, it goes down, it'll go off the road to a infiltration or detention basin, and only the overflow will come back on to go into storm drain. So there's other features, besides just a bridge that came with our project. And also, the same thing happens if you go to The west end, if you go west of Atholt Street on Dalewood Street, the west end of Dalewood Street used to have a fenced, it was just a non-maintained landscaped area. We'll end up putting in another infiltration basin, and that will be landscaped, irrigated, and maintained. And it'll have a new fence, et cetera, in that area. So the water, by the HOV job, the water came off the new highway, the widened highway, and spilled on the Dalewood Street. So there was some additional water because it used to be a dirt area in there. Okay, now it'll go into these basins at both ends, so that it's trying to keep additional water being added or runoff added to your storm drain system.
David, so when is the bridge officially going to be opening?
My guess is our traffic switch right now is plus or minus the 1st of October.
Oh, okay, all right.
Right in that area is when we hope to open it. That gives us a couple of months by the end of the year. Then we have to remove some of those lanes that make up the weave that's under the bridge at this time. So part of our contract is not just to put the traffic on the bridge, but then we go, people have driven that way. You've seen the little temporary ramp
Yes.
that comes off in there. That all goes away, and then parts of those paving areas go away. And then, like if you go, our bridge goes from southbound 605, eastbound 10. You go there now, and you go under the 605 on that loop ramp.
Yes.
That piece of paving will stay, and Caltrans maintenance will save that and use that because they don't want to plant under the bridges because nothing grows out there anyway. But there'll be a maintenance pull out, and it'll be very clear that it's blocked. Only the maintenance fields will go through there. But those are the kind of things we'll do in the last 60, 90 calendar days to clean up our project and finish those details that you're saying. And the landscape details of the pictures here are really the contour areas that were completed on the HOV job. And because of the overlap of the two contracts, scope transfer, they've assigned those to us, so the contours that we do will just pick up their design, so they will look the same as what the other contractor or the previous project. So it'll be complete. It won't be one design for them, one design for us. And Caltrans is following up now with the new drought rules, et cetera, and that's caused us a little bit of grief, but I'm sure you guys are faced with the same thing with it'll change all the landscaping to, anyway, a few difference of plants, a little less water, smart controllers that run off the weather reports, not just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that kind of stuff.
Awesome, that's
But
great.
thank you very much. I mean, such an improvement. I used to call that the kamikaze move, going from the 605, changing a bunch of lanes and hoping that no one was coming around this way so you could get onto the 10.
No, I wasn't familiar with this area until we started this project, and you've needed this.
Yes.
And I'm glad that when
Thank
it's
you.
done, I'm able to drive it now, and I know it'll be a market change that everyone will notice the difference.
Mayor, I just have a
Yes.
question. then.
Yes, go ahead.
So is the ramp that goes, I guess it goes under the freeway, is that one going to be cut off? It goes, if you took, I guess you're going west, and then you get on like you're going to the 605, but you can make a U-turn and head east. Is that piece going to be closed off?
When this is done, you're coming southbound on the 605. If you go off the road on the ramp, you will go westbound 10. That's the only way you'll be able to go. Or you go over the bridge, and you'll end up eastbound on the 10. That move in between that went by the little concrete building that's their communication hub,
Yeah.
and then where the weave is now, and then the U-turn that's sort of under the bridge, that won't be accessible any longer.
Oh, okay.
Most of it'll be landscaped. The piece that the U-turn, as you call it, under, where you go under the 605, that will stay as paving, but there won't be access for motorists.
Okay. Is that bridge, when you get to the end and you're looking toward Pomona going east, is it going to also have traffic signals to, when they slow down the traffic, or is it just going to be?
We'll have ramp metering as shown. So
Ramp metering.
our structure comes down just after the Fraser off-ramp, and you'll go under, by the pictures, you'll be back at grade by the pedestrian undercrossing,
Yeah.
or overcrossing, excuse me.
Yeah.
The new pedestrian overcrossing was
Right.
put in on the last contract. You'll be merged and on grade at that point. You know what I mean? And traffic will be, I don't know, back to normal as you see it now by the time you get to the Baldwin Park interchange.
Okay.
I
So is
have a
that
question.
expected, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Is that expected to have, like a line of traffic still in that area? I mean, as you come from the 605, you take the The
See,
overpass?
I think one of the design goals was the fact that right now, the people coming southbound on the 605 and the people northbound on the 605, if they wanted to come east on the 10, they both came east on the 10 and merged at the same point.
Oh, right.
That caused a lot of problems. Now, if you're coming northbound on the 10, on the 605, want to go to 10, you'll merge with a two-lane merge west of Atholt Street.
Okay.
Now, the bridge merges east of there, so that it'll be a second merge, so it all doesn't come together at the same time.
I see.
And I think that the goal is to make those merges easier with less cars.
Okay. So will that have a better flow of traffic, you think, at that point?
Yes, I anticipate it will.
Okay.
I know, spending a lot of time on the highway there, that merge you're talking about, all those cars coming together
Yes.
right there at the northbound, going eastbound on the 605 and having all of them to merge over at once backs the traffic up for quite a ways.
Very well. Okay. All right. Thank you.
I have a question. Do you think that in the near future there might be a project that would have a flyover for the 10 westbound to the 605 southbound? Because it seems like that's going to be the next bottleneck, that transition.
Yes,
have you heard anything, or is
in the discussions that I've heard, again, we're a contractor, so it's not like we're in the loop, but we overhear. I think it's a funding issue. A funding issue, and then they would also, if you came northbound and had a flyover line up going west, you'd touch down, the normal place would be, well, that's over the river. So the bridge would have to continue further into El Monte, and right there's the Garvey off-ramp. So I think there'd have to be some traffic reconfiguring, possibly right-of-way issues there also, just like where this bridge touched down. Dalewood Street was relocated further south. The same thing would happen in El Monte.
yeah?
And I think
Because
it's
I'm thinking of westbound to the southbound 605. You know what I mean? So westbound 10 to the southbound 605.
I think you'll find that right now, at times, we've had to block the movement that we're replacing, so the cars coming southbound on the 605 don't merge. So when you're on the westbound 10, those two lanes go by themselves to the southbound 605.
Yeah.
Without the introduction of those traffic, and they cross,
Yeah.
I think you'll find that the westbound 10 to southbound will flow pretty smoothly. We'll have two lanes, and the only people
Right.
we'll have to merge with is the people coming westbound on the,
Yeah.
eastbound the 10 that want to go south.
So that should help. It should ease that traffic, the flow of that traffic. I hope so.
I think it'll move all the backup off the 10. If there's a lot of cars trying to merge, then it will be southbound on the 605. It won't be a Highway 10 issue. Because right now, we find in our project, there's a lot of mornings that traffic back up westbound the 10 for a couple of miles. I think that'll be alleviated.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I have a question, Mayor.
Oh, yeah, yes, go ahead. Thank you.
On
Alejandro.
speaking of the southbound 605 on-ramp to the westbound 10, I noticed that it's maybe because of the construction, it's very narrow at this point. Is it because of the construction? Is that going to be opened wider? Because it's kind of tough to get into that section. Is it because of the
Yes,
construction?
you'll always have the merge from the Ramona on-ramp.
Right, and that's pretty difficult at this time. That entrance is so narrow.
Yes, and so if you're coming on at Ramona and you want to go south on the 605, you will have to cross the traffic that wants to go west. But the lanes going west, yes, will be wider because they won't be sharing it with the traffic now that lands up wanting to go east. The traffic that wants to go east will be now up over the bridge, so those lanes westbound won't have to share that. The lanes that are now are close to the barrier.
Right.
It will
very
move
close.
away from that because that's in the final configuration of our project.
Okay, that was a big concern because they are very narrow. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone else? If not, thank you very much, Greg. Thank you, Marilyn. Appreciate that presentation. Looking forward.
Thank you.
Can't wait to break that champagne bottle on that bridge. All right. Okay, at this point, we'll go on to the next one, which is the presentation of the new City of Baldwin Park's website, set for rollout by August the 15th by the city's information technology staff. So, hey, Mark. Hey, guys. All right, let's roll it out.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and the City Council member. The current city website was created before 2007, and the software is updated. So the last couple of months, we have been working on the new website. So tonight, we are going to present to the council.
So the new website is fully responsive, and what that means is it doesn't matter what device you're displaying it on. If you have a really nice luxury widescreen monitor or the tiniest cell phone, the website will intelligently reorganize its content so that it's best displayed on whatever screen you have. It plays nice with touch screens, which is a luxury that the current website does not have. You can't navigate the current website with any taps or swipes. This is intelligent enough to know your various inputs on these newer devices that have since come out. And it is dense with glanceable information that visitors care about. What that means is we looked at the Google Analytics of traffic that people on our website tend to frequent, and we intelligently designed the layout of our menus and so on to put the information that is most sought up front for everyone to see.
Out of curiosity, is it on already, this type of?
This website is not live yet. And we'll transition now to a browser that shows what the website looks like right now, running off our servers in the basement. As we've rolled out updates to the current website, we've been bringing the development of this one up to parity so that they mirror the same current content. You can see important dates for different meetings and events. And this menu intelligently shrinks or grows depending on the size of the device that's displaying it. So if we shrink this, you'll see it mimic what it would look like on a tablet or a smartphone. To give you an idea of what it would behave like. And we've added a new section called How Do I, which will answer most of the common questions that visitors have. Our objective with this is to educate the public with tutorial videos at a certain point so that they know how to register for classes with the recreation department and so on, or report issues like potholes or, defective equipment, street lights. And also, it's an opportunity to educate whenever possible, so we're open to ideas for expanding on this. And, yeah, we hope you like it. It's got a fresh coat of paint, and it's tech-savvy enough that there's a lot more room to grow than the current website platform affords us. Are there any questions or concerns?
I have a question. I did see that there was something about the elections in Spanish. Will there be some Spanish in there or other languages as well, or are we just going to have it in English for now?
We can...
Yeah, we currently have English now, but we can translate the language to Spanish if you would like to.
Okay. And also with the potholes and whatever that we can report, could we also report the graffiti with this?
Yes. A couple meetings back, when I showed you one of our platforms on our mobile devices on how you can report those things, they all kind of unify into the same platform. So all of these things are capable, and they all kind of talk to one another.
Thank you. It looks really nice. Very, very nice.
Real quick, I think it's important what you brought up. So currently it's in English and Spanish? Or will be? Oh. Actually, well, you know what I think we should probably do? Obviously got a large population of Chinese Americans here as well. And we should, and Filipino Americans as well. So I think we should also include both of those particular diverse individuals in the city as well. It's important. Cantonese or
I think we can create a button on the top so they can select the language
Yes.
they want.
You know, that would be, is that, so that is possible? Oh, I think it's important, absolutely. We could include them.
And, you know, I'd like to see more images that are unique to our city, our community, maybe some photos of like, you know, the key buildings in our city, like Morgan Park, just so that it has the real identification with our community.
It's funny you should mention that. I'm actually quite proud of the
Instead of
photography that's used in the layout of the website, because it's a lot. Most of the photos happen to be ones that I've shot, but our goal was to be very media rich with it, and it's very. I think you'll find it aesthetically pleasing, but everything has kind of its own unique, like, identifying photography and imagery, so that it's very difficult for someone to get lost. So it helps navigation.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like Barnes Park, Morgan Park, you know, maybe our police department, City Hall, things like that. Or not so much a gallery, but just as you're going through the website. Yeah, it's just, it's that recognition. It's almost like a marketing tool for us, too.
I agree.
Right. Excellent presentation. Can't wait for that to. How long before it's actually launched? Do we have a set date?
We are scheduled to be live on August 15.
Oh, really? August 15th? All right. Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good job. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, real quick. Oh, Mike Tui just walked in.
I have one more question. I'm sorry. For instance, the Baldwin Park Business Association has really gotten off the ground. Would it be possible to post maybe some of the lunches and some of the activities that they're going to be involved in, as well as, I know that you've got the Parks and Rec, or maybe some of the activities with the police department, their different events, especially, I think of the holidays that are coming up and all the events that will be, that we're going to be seeing. So would there be a possibility to have something like that? If the project coordinator or the event coordinator could probably send you photos or a little bit of a write-up or something, if you could put it on there.
That's certainly possible. Yes, we can. We have infinite flexibility with this website. As for the police side of things, their website is independently developed, but we could certainly include news stories and other items for promotional purposes and feature them prominently on our site.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very
Really
much.
nice.
Thank you very much. All right, real quick. Also, a reminder, we just had the 5K this past weekend. I want to thank Manny Carrillo and all your staff, the Baldwin Park Police Department, for doing a phenomenal job. And we broke the record. Last year we had 800 and something. This past weekend we had 1,030 that actually ran out there. And it's our 21st anniversary. I've run every one of them with the exception of one because I sprained my ankle. Didn't improve my time. It was 24 something, so I'm going to have to look it up. Shannon was right behind me. I could hear him huffing and puffing, you know. So, but no, he was walking. Both he and his wife were here. But thank you for being here. I want to thank all the participants. It was exciting. So, yes. Oh my God. Let me say it. Hold on. Let me take that one. All right. Yeah. Yes. I've never won a medal since the inception. I mean, I'm in my mid-50s. The vice mayor of Baldwin Park gets the first one. So I want to congratulate you for that. You should, how did I forget that? You should have brought the actual medal. Very nice. So I want to congratulate you for that. Someday, maybe when I get older or something, I'll probably end up getting one. But I just want to say, Manny, I like the new design that you guys brought. A lot of compliments on that. So congratulations, Vice Mayor, on that.
T-shirts were also really
Yes, they sure were.
Really nice job with the T-shirts. I really like the black. And also, I want to say to all the seniors out there, because
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
a
yes.
senior,
That's
that I was really proud of the seniors. We had a lady that received a medal that's 89 years old, belongs to our senior center. And a lot of the seniors that were 80 plus are part of our walking or our running club here with the seniors. So I'm real proud of the seniors. Go seniors. We can show them how it's done.
Yeah. You know, and I think what's amazing of it, that as well, there was a 67-year-old individual that came in at 20 minutes some odd seconds. So I definitely got to get there. 56, coming in at 24 minutes, and not good. All right, we'll see what happens.
Mayor, I just want to also add that I got a lot of compliments on our events this summer.
yeah.
There was a number, 4th of July event was very successful. Had a lot of representatives, a lot of community that came out there to that. And also our concert series in the park. I guess we just finished our fourth concert series. A lot of families out there, a lot of gatherings, a lot of people coming together, really enjoying all the music that's played out there. A lot of very good bands. We had Brentwood at the last event, Marla before that. Everybody was just very joyful about bringing them in. And it was interesting because a lot of families got together. They had picnics out there, and they really came out early out there and just had a great time. And it was good to see a lot of old friends and just touch bases with a lot of people. So I want to compliment our staff. Our police department did a great job. Our public works staff, our parks and recreation, just everyone pulled together and really did a wonderful job. Recently, our police department had a great event, our night out, which was yesterday. We had a good showing. A lot of residents came out there and really got together to support our police officers. We had the helicopter, which was a big splash with everybody that came out there to see that. Our fire truck, Baldwin Park Fire Department was out there. Our tow services, just showing all the equipment that we have, all the crime-fighting equipment that we have out there, and just to get to know on a personal basis all of our officers that are out there, and they were showing out there, making hot dogs, serving drinks, with all the booths that were down there. So, want to thank our police department. You guys do a service to our community as far as, your job. I know your police officers, you do your job, but the police officers do a lot just in the community itself with the event that they held yesterday, with their Christmas events that they hold. So just want to thank our officers too and give a round of applause for doing a great job yesterday.
And we can't forget the street fair starts tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. And our street fair starts, so it continues.
All right. Thank you. Yes.
Also, just want to add one last thing, Mayor, is we had we have different committees as council members, and we had a committee that we called the 2+2+2+2, and it kept growing. And this is a committee, right, Cruz? Cruz and I serve on this committee as an ad hoc, and we finally decided to give it a name. It's called the CCC, the Community Collaborative Community. And what it is, it's we bring together a lot of local agencies. The school district. Well, actually, start out with the school district, City Council, Baldwin Park, and the water district, and we talked about a lot of street issues and just kind of coordinating what efforts we could. From there, grew to Mount Sac school board members and the county, and we address issues of concern that are common concern on this committee. So I'm very proud to announce that through that effort, we came up, as a unit, we got together and to address the issue of unemployment in Baldwin Park. And the unemployment in Baldwin Park goes as high as 12% right now because the economy is improving. It's kind of dropped down. I think it's about right around 9%. But nonetheless, we as an effort, we all joined together. It was the Baldwin Park School District, the County of Los Angeles, the EDD, the state, the City of Baldwin Park, and Managed Career Solutions. We all got together to see how we could improve and reduce unemployment and provide unemployment services throughout the community so that our Baldwin Park, which is a hub of the San Gabriel Valley, would be able to get more services through the state that offers these services. So we got together and we're opening up an Americans Job Center of California, which will be available at the adult school in Baldwin Park. They will provide a number of services, whether you're employed or not, at no cost to you. Let me just read off some of the services. These are self-services for self-directed services, which use a computer, internet, phone, fax, copies machine, job leads. You could use resumes and mock interviews, referrals to adult education, literacy, vocational rehab, career opportunities, and community services, assistance with skills match registration, targeted recruitment efforts and job fairs, short-term job readiness, the EDD, the Employment Development Department, job services, a Cal Jobs registration, job referral, and job search workshops, service to employers, including match job openings, labor market information, work history. They have intensive services for case management, WIOA, customized training, support services. They have enrollment for veterans, older workers, long-term employment, counseling services. So the list goes on, and we're going to put this on our website. We'll put it on the Now. We're going to work with the school district to promote this more, and the other agencies that are involved here. So we're working closer with the local employers to make sure that the type of training that we have reflects the needs of the employers, so that when somebody goes through that training, they have a job offer, or at least are able to be more, have more training so that they could appeal more to the different employers. So, this is something that is, I think, a good asset to the city of Baldwin Park, to our residents. It's a service that I think is badly needed. So we're going to have more information about this. Actually, it starts August 24th is the day it starts. So we'll have a ribbon cutting and a grand opening for that. And it's Monday and Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. As we progress, we'll begin to put more time, more hours, and more staff at that facility. So it'll be held at the satellite office. Will be at 4640 Main Avenue in Baldwin Park. So we'll be able to direct a lot of our residents there, our youth, our seniors, family members that want to get jobs and services and training. That'll be all available to you there. So I think this is a good job that we all did. Cruz was on that committee, and a lot of her input helped to kind of direct us in the right direction. Also, the school board member, Blanca Rubio, Carlos Lopez, was a part of this committee. Lucero was a part of the committee. Mrs. Laura Santos from the Mount SAC school board, Mount SAC College Board also came in, helped out. Margarita Vargas from the Water Board, and Linda, the general manager of the Water District. Also Paul Soriano, the superintendent of the Baldwin Park School District. All together, everybody put their input in and really got this going. It was a big effort, a lot of meetings that we held, right? There was a lot of, negotiating and getting everyone together to push all in the right direction and ultimately provide a service that I really believe is needed in this city. So want to just, as we get the word out, hopefully everybody gets to benefit from this service. So I want to also thank staff. Mark worked hard on this. And so we'll invite everybody to the ribbon cutting that we'll have and open this up, right? So thank you, council, for your support. You guys helped us put this committee together, and so it's reflective of the work that we all do as council members in different committees that we all are a part of, right? Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for a good job.
I
And the
do
members. Yes.
I do want to explain that it is at the adult school, which is the purple building. It's in Office D, as in David, and it will be just Mondays for now. We're planning to expand it very soon, but it's Monday through Monday and Wednesday, I'm sorry. And it is open to the community and to the public. It's not just for the students at the adult school.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you very much. Before I go on, I want to recognize Mariana Lake, Valley County Water Board Director, and also we have Margarita Vargas, Valley County Water, and as well as Mr. Mike Tui, the Upper San Gabriel Valley. What's up, bud? All right, thank you very much. All right.
And Mr. Ken Woods, one of our planning commissioners.
That's right, Planning Commissioner, Mr. Ken Woods. Sorry about that. All right, good evening, everyone. At this point, I'd like to open up the public communication. Anyone wishing to speak? We have approximately 3 minutes. Thank you. Good evening.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Council. My big complaint today is if you can't show up for special meetings on time, maybe you should look for another job, okay? Mr. Pacheco was late. The young lady was late. I mean, you guys want to work on this council, but you don't show up on time. So I asked the mayor, instead of put 5:30, he should have put down, show up any time, and then we'll start. I know that I always jumping on the mayor, but he's the boss up there. Well, he's not doing too good because he should have said, you people show up on time, otherwise, pack your stuff and go somewhere else and show up late there. All the years that I worked, if I was late 5 times, I was late too many times. You guys, I've been coming here a number of years, and you guys show up late all the time. If the job is that hard, move on. We got other people out here that might want it, you know. I don't know why it's so difficult. I really don't know why you can't show up on time. You know, if you're supposed to be here at 5:30, leave at 5. No, you wait till 5:30 and then you show up. What, at 6:30, 7:30? That's ridiculous. Sorry, Mayor, but that's life. See, West Covina was in the paper here a while back. It says audit shows lost millions of dollars. I don't want this to happen to Baldwin Park. We talked to that gentleman from Rome out there, and you know what? He talks nice, but that's about it. I keep asking for revenue, and you people keep saying, give it away, give it away. There's another article here. The city was shown criminal activity from City Hall. We don't want that to happen in this city. So you people that work up here that don't show up on time, maybe you should move on so we can get people that want to work here and want to show up on time. When you guys say 7 o'clock city council meeting and people are waiting here 10, 15, 20 minutes later, when you guys come out of a special meeting, that's pretty rude. You don't even apologize for showing up late. You know what? You give the impression, you say, hey, we're late, tough luck. That is wrong. You work for those 80,000 people out here. So act like you really want to work here. I don't know what your excuse for not showing up on time, but it must be very poor. All you people that work for this city and doing a good job, thank you very much. But you people that can't show up on time, you don't deserve to be even called council people.
Excuse me, Mr. Luna, your time's up.
All right, thank you very
my
much.
God.
Appreciate that.
There goes my 3 minutes again.
All right, thank you very much.
Thomas Carey.
It does.
Well, I'm just going to go over it a little bit too. I worked in a place, if you were late a few times, you got rode up. If you're late again, a few times, you got rode up again. There wasn't the third time you were fired. That's for people who had jobs. People that maybe never had jobs don't know that. It's important to be on time because that shows true leadership. You need to be on time. If you schedule something, you need to have yourself there when it starts, not a half an hour later. There's no excuse. I mean, you don't have a job and you're not working anywhere, there's no reason to be late. If it's not important, then maybe you should find another job doing something else. But I'm going to touch on all this problems of late with the media, fanning the flames of racism and things of this type. These people that don't cooperate with the police and then they cry when they're shot, or at least their family does, all they have to do is be congenial and do what the officer asks. There's nothing hard about that. But apparently they've learned, or maybe they've figured these things out in prison. Oh, if I get killed, my family will live well. Well, they will for a while until all the money's gone. That's good for the economy wherever they live because they won't have that money long. However, the attorneys that are pushing these huge judgments, well, they'll live good. They'll still have that money 20 years from now because they'll invest it. And what I'm getting at is all this litigation, even if you can't raise the taxes readily, it costs more to insure cities where these things are going on. So in a sense, that is a tax increase. And the juries are the blame because they're the ones awarding these huge, astronomical $20 million to somebody that might have made $500,000 in their lifetime. That's where the problem lies. You're rewarding people for resisting arrest and running from the cops, risking people's lives, driving the wrong way. And then if they're shot and killed, then, oh, they shouldn't have killed them. Why? They're risking everybody else's life. Nobody seems to care, though. And this thing with the media, crying racism, it's almost like No other races are shot and killed by the police, only blacks. No whites are killed, no Hispanics, no Asians, only blacks. We know that isn't so, of course, but the media is fanning the flames of racism, all in the mighty of making more money on commercials and advertisement and all this other crap. I just don't know where things are going to go with this. It's got to stop.
All right,
Okay.
Thomas, thank you.
I was going to talk about it last time, James Horner,
All right, appreciate that.
poser that passed away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, condolences. Hey, Mr. Woods.
Good evening, Ken Woods, and I'm a property tax paying citizen. I'd like to give a little update on our parking situation on Badillo, which has greatly improved. The chief put a 30-day moratorium on giving tickets, and after that, things were great. I mean, everybody that owned property there was able to park in front of their own house, which was amazing. But like any good thing, it started to creep back until Saturday when you couldn't park in front of your house anymore. So a call to our police department brought out an officer who made a run from one end to the other, gave a bunch of tickets. Now all of a sudden we've got parking again. So I'd like to thank the police department for doing the great job they did, and the council for providing us with those permits, which really helps. And I'd like to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Right along with public communication.
John Rios, resident. The last meeting that we had, Mayor, you misunderstood the whole thing that I was trying to tell you. I wasn't talking about the drought or anything. I was talking about the soccer league taking over the fields and destroying them. Okay? You turned it around and said, oh, there's always going to be a drought. I understand that. I've been in California all my life. Okay? So that's one of the things I want to straighten up. But I was trying to make a point is that Mr. Carrillo, I asked him over and over, he would send me code enforcers, send me to Mr. Wells, because they're supposed to control. If there's more than 25 kids in the park, they're supposed to give them a ticket or ask them. You can go into any Tuesday in Barnes Park, there's over 120, 130 kids in there. They have their netting up and everything. The whole park is destroyed because the park director is not following up. Okay? And I'm not going after just Manny, you know. I'm just going, what's the situation? One of the reasons I brought the young kids, young voters they are now, is that I have a baseball team in, just to find out how much it costs to put a team together. Basically, it's $900 per season. That's 18 games, okay? The kids have to buy their uniforms, their hat, the balls. I donated that and everything. In total, probably around us $2,200. So if the soccer league is not gaining from that, something's wrong. There's only 8 teams in our league. It's a Sunday league. The reason I put it together is to keep the kids away from the streets. I practice with them twice a week. I teach them the values of life. My belief is family first, your education, then the game. And before my 3 minutes are up, Mr. Taylor, the code enforcers are doing a beautiful job. I told them about the lot right behind 7-Eleven on Bass.
They got the county to go in there and they clean it up. That was an eyesore. So everybody that goes to the freeway sees it. Now my friends from West Covina.
All righty.
Excuse me,
Very
Mr.
much.
Rios,
Appreciate
time's up.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, move along with public communication.
Good evening. Greg Tuttle, business owner. This is directed mainly to our council member Pacheco, since he's running for election and gives these long speeches before each of the council meetings. I want to talk to you about your business connection on your end of the agenda here. None of the business like you. They don't like Monica. They don't like Manny. You know why? You stole $29,000 from their fund that they would use for city stuff, because you put on a stupid fireworks that gain nothing for businesses in this city. You can smirk all you want, bud, but you spent $29,000 of business license money. The street fairs were generated by Ms. Baca and by Rubio, and that's where it's going to stay. The businesses don't like you, and they don't like you taking their money. And that was a stupid thing what you did, and it didn't promote business in Baldwin Park. All it did was bring people out. Now then, let's go into what Mr. Pacheco does with his spare time. Gets the city manager to use his credit limit to hire a person connected with one of his biggest donors to give him a job. Tried to hide a $1,000 donation from Montebello Housing by misspelling their name, call it Bello Monte Housing, on his 460 form. Then he makes the city pay for his internet service where he runs his business out of his house, which he's conveniently switched to another house so that it doesn't be out of his house. And he runs a solar energy business. Then he goes to a general manager summit, and city has to pay $775 for that. He charges 2 health magazines, one for $39, one for $54 a month to the city. He charges a subway bill for $6.50 and for $17.93. Gas, which he gets allowance from the city, at $72 and $44. And then the real big hit was back in 08 and back farther. Mayor is about the only one in Pacheco that we're getting $1,100 a month for the redevelopment agency, which was a scam. And then when I brought it up during our Bisno days, it all went away, because they were making almost $50,000 a year as a council person part-time, which they were showing up all the time then. Now they just straggle in whenever they feel like it, and everybody's inconvenienced. Everybody that takes their time out to come to these special meetings, the mayor's almost always there, and Miss Baca's there, but not Princess Monica and King Pacheco. You guys seem to have other things. Then find another job and hope you get a job. That's what your problem is. You need to find a real job. Now, we need to go on, and Mr. Pacheco is totally responsible for Mr. Rios losing his job, because he didn't like it because Mr. Rios was complaining about his soccer league, which donates to him heavily, which he's put on. The 2 owners have their wives on 2 commissions.
Mr. Tuttle, your time's
All
up.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving along with public communication. Anyone else wishing to speak? Okay, now I will now declare the public communication closed. Real quick, I just want to say, Mr. Luna, you mentioned that I'm the boss up here. We're all elected independents, so I'm no one's boss, just for a point of clarification. And also, Mr. Luna, Mr. Rios, and I take what you're saying, it's also important, and of course, the youth that are here. But I just want to mention the last person that spoke here has a history of fabricating information first class. He sent recently to the FPPC an investigation that included Councilmember Monica Garcia, Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco, and myself, and it came back to him twice that there was no evidence whatsoever. The Constitution of the State of California, and I've said this probably 100 times, allows anyone to come up here and outright lie, and that's what this individual is known for. He has no evidence whatsoever, and it's unfortunate what he does. He's not a resident of Baldwin Park. He owns a business, which is fine. I support him. Now, for him to say that the businesses don't support my colleague, Ricardo Pacheco, is also false information. I think he should reverse that particular statement to himself from the individuals that I have met with, and I won't mention their names. Now, Baldwin Park, there are hundreds of businesses in Baldwin Park. And this council has always been on the forefront of making certain that we provide the best type of service economically. And of course, the recession hit, and look where we're at. We're in good health at this time, and that's what makes a big difference. And I just want to clarify, he mentioned the 4th of July, that he doesn't believe that was a good. Well, you go over there next year and you tell all those 5,000 and something that you, as a non-resident, disagree that we have the 4th of July. We're going to continue to have that celebration. And I want to also correct you. You mentioned about a week ago, came up here and gave false information that it cost $42,000 to run the 4th of July. It was close to a little bit over $33,000. The $42,000 happens to be the one right here on Main. And I support that particular program. Not all the businesses are there. And you don't represent the businesses in the city of Baldwin Park. So I want to make certain that I put that for the record. But he's known, again, to come up here and create these stories. But again, the Constitution allows him. Anyone could come up here and outright say nasty things about a particular person, outright lie, and you're protected by the Constitution. And we as the elected officials can't sue you, can't do anything about it. And he's the expert in that particular area. So I just want to end in that particular perspective as well, so that everyone knows. Again, and you have the youth that are here, research the information and make sure that you are able to balance both of them to see what a particular individual is saying here. So I'll end on that particular note. All right.
May I just
Yes,
very
Councilmember Ricardo
quickly,
Pacheco.
I want to make sure that, this is the election year. I mean, we're heading into, people are filing papers and running there. So, a lot of statements are going to be made, a lot of misinformation goes. This happens every year. The person who just spoke is a lobbyist for several companies. He's running candidates in this election. So you're going to hear a lot of these things that, that people are going to say. And I think it's wrong. I think everybody who runs, I welcome everyone who wants to get in an election and talk about what you're going to do to improve the city. What are you going to do to make a difference? The mudslinging and all that, it's been done before. Been here for a long time. I've seen it all happen. Be positive. Talk about what you can do. What is it better that you can improve? Now, I have a lot of strong business support. A lot of my business supporters are out there, people that I talk to, how to improve business. I'll talk about that today and what it is we can do to make business more important. I mean, last person that spoke didn't talk about how he didn't make his election when he ran for his the business association. So there's a disassociation with that. So it's important just to make sure people get the facts straight, that everybody talks about the issues and policies that that we want to run our city on. And Baldwin Park was able to make it through this recession that was devastating to a lot of cities. When other cities were laying off and filing for bankruptcy, Baldwin Park didn't go there. The council stuck together and pushed a lot of the issues that we needed. We came out, we balanced our budget. We did a lot to keep as many employees we could until the point came where we did have a few layoffs. I'm not sure how many we laid off. I think 8, maybe 10 employees. So I just think it's important to look where Baldwin Park was at and how we were able to bring it through. We have a balanced budget with a strong reserve. We're in the black, and that's the council working together, and that's what it takes to be able to keep our city going. Yeah, we have disagreements. A lot of us, may not agree on all issues, but I think in the long run, it's about council members that can really be cohesive and keep the city going forward. So thank you very much. I appreciate all your concerns.
All right, thank you very much. At this point, we're going to go ahead and go into the consent calendar. I want to pull item number 15. At this point, council members wishing to pull any other items?
Yeah, I just wanted to pull item 10 and bring it to the next council meeting.
Excuse me?
Item 10, if we could bring it to the next meeting.
Item 10, okay.
I would like to pull 6 for clarification.
Okay, 6, all righty. Okay, so at this point, any others wishing to pull any items? If not, at this point, I will entertain a motion to move from consent calendars with the exceptions of item number 6, number 10, and 15. That is my motion. Any objections? Seeing none, so move. All right, item number 6, which is the approve of the proposal and professional service contract with Revenues and Costs Specialist LLC to conduct a law enforcement development impact fee studies. Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco?
No, I pulled it.
Oh, sorry about that. Vice
Oh,
Mayor.
I understand.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
all right. I just needed some clarification, please, what that's about. The number 6 for the consultant services agreement with an associated law enforcement development impact fee?
I can
Can?
address that, Mayor Pro Tem. Yes.
Yes,
This would be a proposed fee that would be similar to the parks fee, and it would cover costs on new developments that would help to pay for the additional costs that that development would have on our police department. So if there's additional resources, capital costs, equipment that they need to purchase because of the growing community and the development, then that would allow us to collect a fee on the new developments and be able to fund some of those increased needs for the police department. The fees typically are somewhat small, $200 to $300 per unit if you were looking at homes or apartments.
But what do you base collecting the fees from?
What this company does is they do a nexus study, and they basically look at the services that we have, the needs that the police department has to serve a growing population, and then based on the population that a new development would come in, there's some formulas that they use to calculate approximately how much that you would charge per unit.
So it would just be a one-time fee, or is it
Correct.
an ongoing fee?
It would be a one-time fee, so if a development came in and built 10 homes, and if the fee was $300 a unit, then they would pay the $3,000. It would be a one-time fee, would go into a special account that could only be used for capital-type equipments and improvements for the police department.
Can we bring this back, please, till the August 19th council meeting? I want to sit down and sort of go over it, please. Thank you.
Shannon, I wanted to add, I think that this type of fee is really based on the services that will be added for, to neighborhoods that are having the new developments. So that's kind of the big picture.
Oh, I understand all of that. It's just that I just want to do a little bit more research
Yeah,
and
yeah.
take it to August 19th.
Yeah, so it's basically a mitigation fee, right, for
Correct.
services that the police department provides to neighborhoods and with new developments.
Correct.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
All righty. Okay, so at this point, did you want to bring that back, or you want to go ahead and pass this?
We can go ahead and pass it.
All right, so at this point, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion to pass item number 6. Any objections? See none, so moved. Thank you. Item number 10, requested by Councilman Ricardo Pacheco, which is approve the consultant service agreement with Inc. To provide the design and the plans and specifications for the San Gabriel River Commuter Bikeway. Yes, Councilmember?
Request to bring back to the next.
All righty. Okay, I'll go ahead. Is that a motion? I'll second. Any objections? See none, so move. All right, at this point, we'll go over to item 15, which is the approve and adopt the resolution to approve memorandum of understanding between the City of Baldwin Park and the Baldwin Park Police Officers Association, the City of Baldwin Park and the Professional and Technical City Employees Association, the City of Baldwin Park and the Classified Management Employees Association, the City of Baldwin Park and the Classified Management Association, and adopt resolution amending the executive benefits matrix and unclassified management between matrix. So I just want to take the opportunity to thank all the Baldwin Park Police Association and thank all the various professions also that participate in this. And I believe we're bringing this back. Am I correct? Is that what we're doing?
No.
If you approve this tonight, the
Okay.
MOU
So MOU stands.
final
All right.
and approved.
So-
Correct.
Oh, thank you. Yes, and I was just informed that it's been signed, so I want to thank all the participants. So at this point, I'll go ahead and make a motion.
I'll second.
Second.
Yes, legal counsel. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Susan Rubio is not
Oh,
present.
that's right. Yes.
And she has asked me to read a statement into the record. So this is a statement by Councilmember Susan Rubio. I planned a vacation in advance, well before I knew the contracts would be on tonight's agenda. Unfortunately, the contracts for our fine employees are on the agenda for tonight while I am gone. I am gone, but I want all of you to know that I fully support all of the contracts for our employees. They are well deserved.
All right. Thank you very much. Yes. go ahead.
I just want to thank all. I know our staff, a lot of them aren't here, and I wish that they were. It's been a long, long time. I don't need to remind everyone. Your cooperation, your love and the passion for this city and the work that you do, considering the consequences that you did not have raises for 8-9 years. I really, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank you. It is much, much appreciated. You know that I'm a longtime resident of Baldwin Park and my family as well. And honestly, I really appreciate everything you do for our community. The police department, all our staff, our administration, everyone. Thank you so very much. I see a lot of great improvements moving the city forward, and it makes me happy to see the downtown area coming together and all the staff and everyone that looks so passionate about everything that they do. So again, thank you so very much for your patience above everything and for hanging in there and believing in us. Thank you.
Mayor?
All right, yes, Councilmember.
I just want to thank also the POA. I know it was a lot of hard work. There was a lot of negotiating. We were able to come up with an agreement. I know that this one is a reliable agreement that will help retain our police officers. I know there's a lot of concern about the benefits that this city receives compared to other ones, and this was one that at least has some incentives in it that will help our police officers. One, benefits the city because the incentives are those that give you the skills that we look for in this community to help our residents. At the same time, it helps officers to grow in their career, and we can retain a lot of our officers. I know a lot of them come here, use this as a training ground, but this is the first contract that was put together to make sure that we have well-trained, well-qualified officers, and you're being incentivized for that. And so that's one good thing. It's also unaffordable for our taxpayers. One concern we had was sustainability within the contract, and I know by working with you, there was a lot of good input that I never heard any other association put forth that really helped to to make sure that this contract was well put together and affordable for the city, and that's what I believe this contract comes together. So again, also more importantly, is our officers. A lot of you, I know you work here and you do your job as a police officer, you do it well, but also that as officers, you do a lot of nonprofit work. You're out there, yesterday was a demonstration of your commitment to the community, not because you're paid to be here as an employee, but because you believe in this community, because you were out there yesterday, helping the community. You were, in your Christmas drives and all the things that you do and you care about, our Police Explorer program, the boot camp and all that extra work that all of you do is a great benefit for our community. All the grants that you put together, our leadership of our police chief, thanks a lot, Mike. You've been here for many years, and I know you bring a lot of leadership forward that you share with your officers and try to bring them all together and keep them in unison. So, and our POAs really work great. So I want to thank all of you and the Police Association for doing a great job. This is a well-deserved contract, and hopefully, we continue working in a positive direction. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. All right, so at this point, we're going to go over to the request by Councilmember Ricardo. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. We'll make a motion at this point to approve.
I second.
Second. Any objections? So move. All right, so at this point, we'll go over to the council. We have the request by Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco for discussion and direction to staff on the following. Discuss and give direction to staff to gather information and report on the feasibility of creating a downtown business program that will promote monthly events, develop social media, and create newsletters to enhance businesses' activity in the downtown district. Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
What I'm asking is that to better improve our downtown image and activities that we have in downtown is if you compare a lot of other cities that have an established downtown program, if you look at the city of Monrovia, at Citrus Avenue here in Covina, or at Brea downtown, each one of those, what they have different that we don't have is they actually have a staff member, probably 3 of them, that get together and they create a downtown environment that one has monthly events that are constantly occurring. Whatever the event is that month, if it's Valentine's Day or Christmas or Halloween, they've always included all the downtown businesses to be able to participate in these downtown environments. They have a newsletter that goes out specifically tailored just to the downtown area to promote their businesses and talk about the services that they have. The city Unison would have information about businesses on our website. They would do social media work to make sure that whatever promotions the business have and want to participate in, they can get on there and either with our website or a newsletter to be able to promote these. Again, I think the activities are important to keep that traffic flow of clients coming through. Having a downtown environment that that has, a place to go, a destination point for people to say, I'm going to go to, to people go to Monrovia because they like that downtown feel, or they go to Citrus Avenue because they like, whatever feel is. In San Dimas, they have that western feel. Brea just has a nice downtown. West Covina has different activities. So we're looking to establish and put together a program where we'd have one or two individuals that's what they would do, be able to promote our downtown environment. So I'm asking to put together, to work with staff, to have staff go out there, and I have discussed this with staff, and they've done some preliminary research to compare different programs and see what we could do to begin to find the funding sources to have this program put together here in our city and begin to have more of a downtown programs that are going on. So also, I'd like to kind of put together an ad hoc committee, maybe Councilwoman Garcia, if you would like to join me in that one, just to kind
Definitely.
of put this together. Yeah, thank you. Okay,
Excuse
so that's the
me,
direction I'm asking.
Mayor?
Yes,
Excuse me.
Yes.
I think that's probably a great idea if we wouldn't have a Ballpark Business Association. Terry Muse is the president. She's doing a really nice job. If any of you have attended any of the lunches, there was one probably a week or two ago where she is bringing in new membership. We have Foothill Transit that just joined. We have other businesses that are from out of town that have joined. So I believe that the Ballpark Business Association is doing all of these things already. I understand that staff might be able to put something together as well, but I think that right now the Business Association is we've got the street fairs coming up until September the 10th, and there's 92 vendors that have already purchased the booths. And I believe that this is already in motion and doing a great job as far as advertising. Terry's working on a newsletter along with the board. We have George Silver from the SCE Credit Union that's the vice president. We have a couple of the people from the Wells Fargo as well as the Bank of the West that are on the board. And I think they're doing a great job. It's really come a long way from the first meeting that we had. I did attend the luncheon last week at the Himalayan Cafe. So I really do believe that we need to give this a chance. And like I said, our staff does a wonderful job of putting things together, except I think that you should really get together with Terry and some of the board members of the Business Association and go over some of these things, because this is exactly what they're doing.
Councilman Cruz-Bach, I understand your concerns. One of the things that I found,
it's not a
one of the
concern.
things that I found is that a number of these downtown programs, they work in unison with their downtown chambers. The chamber's not a part of it; they work together. So we're talking about putting dedicated staff that does this work. Terry Muse, is also works for waste management. The other gentleman that you mentioned is. Works at they have full-time jobs that they do, and what they do is they kind of work part-time. So we need a focused effort where we have full-time people that are working on this, and that's what they do. To make sure the downtown. That's the difference between how Ballpark operates and these other cities, that they have full-time staff in these in these departments that are just dedicated to those types of organizations. So all I'm asking you is if you just support me to put this together. We're not doing anything different. They'll present it back, and then I think you'll be on board once you see it.
I think it's a great idea, and I'm not disputing this. I just feel that at this time we have staff that are already putting together a lot of these events. Like I said, the street fair is going until September the 10th, and after that we have all our holidays. We have in the very near future we're going to be celebrating our anniversary for the city of Baldwin Park, and I know that plan is already in motion. As far as the businesses are concerned, I don't see how we could do more outreach than what we're already doing. A lot of the businesses announced in the Now, and the Now is a wonderful publication that is now working in conjunction with our school district. So I don't understand. We're working on a specific plan. I believe we hired consultants to be able to take care of this, and we approved it not too long ago. So all I'm saying is that, you know, work with the business association, sit down with Terry. That's all I'm saying, is to give it a chance. Sit down with Terry and some of the board members of the business association. Let them know what your vision is, so that way we can work together, because I don't think you've attended any of our lunches, and I've been to just about every lunch. Our police chief is there with some of his staff, and I see, Mark has attended some of them, of course, Manny Carrillo. So I would suggest that we will be having another luncheon in September. So you can come as my guest,
You're so sweet.
and talk to Terry.
Yeah.
And,
But it
and
was-
really, I'm serious. And
Well,
look at this.
yeah, I understand,
This isn't-
Terry.
I'm
They-
not concerned.
I
I'm
mean,
just-
okay,
No, but
if-
to help
if I
you
may.
understand, Cruz, because you wanted more understanding, I want to, there are no efforts here in Baldwin Park. I mean, Baldwin Park is not the downtown like Brea, like Monroe. We just don't have that type of environment here. I know they're working hard, but they have full-time jobs. And I think to put more of a focused effort to move this forward, all I'm asking right now is to establish a plan. We'll bring it together. I'll include Terry and everybody else who wants to be part of it. Explain what we're trying to do and move forward with it.
I would like to be a part of it. I know that you mentioned Councilmember Garcia, and I think it's wonderful for her to be a part of what's going on now, especially with the downtown area and sort of looking at some of the businesses that we could bring in and some of the creative ideas. But I would also like to be a part of that committee. I believe that I've been on a lot of the committees that have worked very hard to, even the palm trees that have been lit up, and also Councilmember Rubio has worked very closely with the Public Works to put the lights on the palm trees and get that whole downtown looking really nice. So I think that it would be nice for all the council members to be involved in creative thinking of what our vision is, because we all have different visions. We all have different ideas. We have to start working on some of the landscaping because of the drought problems that we're having. And I think that we all should have input as to what we would like our downtown to look. Brea's fantastic. I often go there for lunch or dinner. Monrovia, of course, has always been the model of what I bring up at some of the meetings for some of the downtown of Baldwin Park. And we can go on, but we want Baldwin Park to be like Baldwin Park. That's what I would like.
Okay,
And
I'm sorry,
what do all of us think that it would be like? I think we should all be a part of this committee.
Mayor, if I may, thank you. I think that we've had, and I support the idea that Councilmember Pacheco has brought to our attention. And I think it's very timely because we want to start looking at not only the businesses, but also just the stakeholders in downtown LA. We have this new development coming in with, I'm sorry. That tells you I've spent many years working in downtown LA. Working with stakeholders in the downtown area, with Rome coming in. And I really do think that we need to look at just stakeholders in general. We have Telecu, we have some of these other developments, we have the Clark Center, and how do we engage them more? So I think it goes a little bit more beyond just the businesses. So I like the idea of having a real concentrated effort in our downtown area. And I hear what you're saying. I do like the idea of having a dedicated effort to support the association, to support other initiatives and other organizations that are in the downtown area, so that it's a larger effort. Now, I know that the City Council has had various ad hoc committees. You guys were part of an ad hoc committee to bring in Worksource Center. And, and there have been different ad hoc committees for auditing and so on and so forth. So I think if we can have a dedicated effort, because otherwise my concern is that it's just going to be another conversation. And of course, the ad hoc committee can come back and engage and report and do all of that. So I do like the idea, and I would support that.
Yes, and I like the idea of the ad hoc. And Ricardo, you and I have worked very hard along with some of the staff for this Worksource Center. And I think that we've been very successful, along with Councilmember Rubio, in bringing a lot of these things to fruition. And that's the important thing, is not only coming up with the ideas, but letting them come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
We can toss around ideas all day long or for the rest of the year, but has it really taken effect? And can the people, and can we see the changes? And that's why I think it's very important to have this ad hoc committee and have input from the residents. Okay, so we bring in some of the people from the businesses that are not included in the business association for whatever reason. And I think it's very, very important to include some of our city clerk and our city treasurer into some of these committees so that we can get all the ideas, the mayor, so that he can come up with what he would like, for his vision.
Okay, well, I'd like to ask
Thank
her
you.
if we could have an ad hoc committee composed of Councilwoman Monica Garcia and myself on this issue, working with staff.
All right, I'll go ahead and second. Any objections? All right, so, okay, thank you very much for that. All right, thank you. At this point, we're at the end part. I just want to, for Public Works, still having those sprinklers, for some odd reason, we need to have someone check them. They're still going off. And I'll tell you, I don't know if they've cleaned up the whole medium going towards the freeway because it's a mess, the whole side of it. So I don't know what's going on.
The sprinkler should be completely shut off by now. We're in the process of capping everything off. The Valley County Water is starting to enforce the governor's mandate, and
Yes.
so we met with them a couple of weeks ago. So the sprinkler system, as far as I know, should be shut off as of early last week.
Okay. Well, you know what? Okay. So there's a goal.
I'll have them double check.
Could you
though,
please-
just to make sure?
What's the goal there? What are we going to do? I know that we had something planned.
So tonight on the agenda, you have approved a
Right.
contract with landscape architect. We're meeting with the landscape architect on Tuesday. City staff
Right.
is to further develop the scope of work with them. We're going to have a series of meetings with the city council showing several different conceptual designs. That should be within the next 4 to 6 weeks. Once we get approval from the council as to the concept of what's going to be done, they're going to go to construction drawings, and by the first of the year, we should actually start with planting.
Now, one more question about that. Did they trim that grass going towards the freeway? Because yesterday was a mess. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, we've gotten pulled in a couple of different directions because of the recent special events,
Okay.
but we will go out and get that grass trimmed.
You know, someone was telling me about certain cities, actually one of the residents, where they have an actual sign on their mediums about
Yes,
the route.
we've been working with Valley County Water. They're
Okay.
printing up those signs for us. We're splitting the cost with them on getting those signs printed to let everyone know why everything's going to turn golden.
Okay. And then we could send my last one. We could send a message to the businesses that are located right on Francisquito and Ballpark Boulevard, inward next to that. You have that 31 Flavors. Come north of that, then you have that Dennis. There's a major car wash this past weekend, and I happen to ask, where are you guys washing? They're from Bassett, and it's they're having this fundraiser. So someone's got to send a message to that whole little center there that no car washes. I mean, these guys were just like wandering away like nothing. Couldn't call code. Do we have code enforcement working the weekend? I used to call them on the weekends, but are they still around? Oh, hey, Chief Taylor. What's up, bud? Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're still here, Mr. Mayor.
On the weekends.
Yeah, if you just let me know if that's the area that you're looking at, I'll pass it along to them.
Yeah, but are they still working the weekends? I thought they're not.
Schedule has been modified because they're dealing with part-timers right now. and
okay. Yeah,
we just
'cause
have basically 2 full-time staff. in
Yeah,
that
because
site.
before, I used to call them on the weekend. I mean, I just call them for everything. They're like, quick. But that's why I was thinking wasn't certain they were working. But we need to send a message out to those particular businesses. They're just having car washes, and the vast majority are either coming from La Puente or Bassett. The one in La Puente 2 weeks ago told me, well, it's prohibited for them to do it there, so they came here. So somehow we got to get that out or place it on the marquee about the water, that we can't be doing that. I mean, I didn't want to call law enforcement for something like that, but we got to get caught. All right.
Mayor,
Mayor, I have two things.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Mr. Garcia.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Two things. Dan, you guys do a great job keeping the mediums and everything up to date. I have a question. Last week, for a few days on Francisquito and Ramona Boulevard, there was a big puddle of water. The street was actually, they had signs blocking the section, and it seemed like the water was seeping out. Was there
Where's this at?
on Francisquito and Ramona
Oh,
Boulevard?
that's City
right in front of
Irwindale.
Cowboy Burg-
That's the
in
City of
front
Irwindale.
Is it
I
Irwindale?
spoke to the mayor about that. Yes, that's
It
definitely
was
not
flooded
ballpark.
for a few days, and it seems
Yes.
like water was coming
Yeah.
out of there a lot.
During the raining season, whenever it rains, you could float through on a canoe. But But I did speak to the mayor.
There was no rain, no nothing, and it was
Yes.
a big puddle that cars had to go really slow because it was flooded.
Yes.
Another thing, on Ramona Boulevard between Monterey and Foster Avenue, on the right side of the street by the condos, there's a section of shrubs that are really dry that I feel it's a fire hazard. And it's just that particular section. It's very dirty also, a lot of trash and, like I said, dry shrubs that I feel that catches on fire, those condos are going to go up.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, that particular parkway belongs to the condo association. I know in the past, Public Works had done some tree trimming there. However, once we figured out the actual property boundary, we no longer maintain that. We have been in contact with that management association there.
Okay.
But we'll remind them that that's
And
their
it's just
responsibility.
that little section from Monterey to Foster, but it is a hazard because they're very dry. That if anybody throws a cigarette out the window, it's going to light up, and the condos are right there.
Goodness.
All righty. Okay, let's
Mayor,
move on. Yes,
I have one
Councilman-
more.
Yes.
It's
Thank you, Alejandra.
regarding the medians down, and what comes to mind is the section between Baldwin Park Boulevard between, let's say, Ramona to Foster. It's drying up, and I know what you're talking about as far as us being on the drought. We want to be sensitive to that and post these signs, but my concern is that we're seeing residents take this to a whole different level. What was once green grass is now just dirt in the front of their house. And so I think we really need to be careful about the example that we set as a city. And if we can go straight from, having our medians well kept, and I think that's important, and then going straight into the drought tolerant or the new design, so that there's no lapse and it doesn't, we have to lead by example.
Yes, I completely agree with you, council member. And originally that had been my intention. However, in a meeting with Valley County Water District, the state has accelerated the enforcement period for that, so we really have no choice. We would be in violation of state law if we watered the medians currently.
And can we accelerate our design for the medians?
Yeah, that'd be great.
We will, like I said, I'm meeting with them on you approved it tonight. I have a meeting already scheduled for Tuesday at 10 a.m. We will try our best to get this thing done as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and you hear what I'm saying about.
Oh, I know exactly what
it's
you're
hard
saying.
for us to go and knock at somebody's door and say, "Hey, what's going on with your lawn?"
When we're a
the
poor
city
example.
is almost in a similar condition.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So at this point, anyone else have anything? If not, I will move to adjourn. That is my
I
motion.
second.
Second. Any objections? See none. Viva Baldwin Park. Thank you very much. Let's go get a nice ice cold glass of water.